Welcome to another video tutorial from 2dgameartguru.com. Today I'm working in Affinity Designer version 3 to show you the basics of booleans and compounds. I'll be working with basic shapes, boolean operations, compound groups, and tapered strokes. Seemingly complex shapes look a lot less complex once you break them down. This Christmas decoration consists of very basic shapes: rectangles, a star, a donut, a teardrop, and a deformed triangle. In order to combine all those individual shapes into one curve, you need Boolean operations. They are the geometric tools that combine multiple objects into a single curve. By selecting all the white shapes and combining them with the Boolean add, and all the red shapes and subtract them from the white, I end up with a design that looks a lot more complex than its individual parts. The downside is those parts are gone. I end up with a single new shape. It's a destructive process. Affinity allows you to keep things editable by using compound groups. Select multiple objects, use the menu vector create compound, or hold the Alt key while clicking on add, subtract, intersect, or XOR. Inside a compound group, the elements are combined via one of the four Boolean operations: add, subtract, intersect, or XOR. By default, the geometry icons are located at the top right of the menu. Let's have a look at the way the different Boolean operations work. I use these three squares to show you the effect of each of the operations. Starting with add, when I combine these three squares, I get one curve in the color of the shape lowest in the layer stack. When the shapes overlap, add creates a new curve covering the combined area. Boolean subtract will cut the other shapes from the lowest in the stack. As there's no overlap with the dark square, it stays unchanged. Seeing the lightest shape has no overlap with the darker one, it has no impact, except for the last case. Intersect creates the area covered by all selected shapes. In the first two cases, there is no joined area. Only the last one has a small area where all three elements overlap. Then there is XOR, which combines the shapes while inverting the overlaps. When two shapes overlap, the area becomes a no-fill. When three shapes overlap, that area becomes a filled area again. It sounds complicated, but is really helpful. Lastly, there is the Boolean divide, which works in reverse. It's not combining objects, but it's separating them. The single curve of three squares gets converted into three separate objects. When I use it on the curve created with the XOR, I get the small square, and then I do it again and I release the inner cutout out of the larger square. The Boolean operations are not a universal function. They work on basic shapes like circles, stars, rectangles. They don't work on lines and strokes unless you expand the strokes. They don't work on brushes either. Brushes in Affinity are PNG images along a vector line. It does work with closed curves. You draw something with the pencil or the pen tool. It covers an area, has a fill. You can use it in the Boolean operation. It works with artistic text. They are filled vector shapes. They can be manipulated with the Boolean operations. Bitmap images can't, they are not vector curves. Contours applied to an object will be converted and work with Boolean operations. Groups need to be ungrouped before you can use the objects inside the group, as long as they are vector shapes. It's time to put all that to use and create something using basic shapes. Start with a circle and a rectangle. Duplicate the rectangle round the corners to create a pill shape. Move the circle and duplicate it. And by now you probably worked out that this is going to be a snowman, a larger circle converted to curves and modified with the node tool makes the base of my snowman. Two more smaller circles make the snowballs for the arms. convert the cylinder to a curve and use the node tool to shape it. I'm not quite happy with the looks of the arms. Let's make it a little bit more complex. Delete those and draw a line with the pencil tool. Set it to no fill and adjust the stroke color, stroke width and the pressure curve. In the pressure curve panel, you can double click on the left and right handle to make it move independently. Duplicate the line, use the node tool to modify some of the nodes to create the branches. To change a smooth node to a sharp node, hold Alt while you modify the handle. Select the 3 lines, duplicate and mirror them, modify them with the node tool to have a bit of variation. Let's reuse the small circle. I color it red as it will be cut out of the main shape later. Position and duplicate it, scale it up a little bit to make it look less uniform. Duplicate the smallest one for the eyes and the nose. Convert the nose to curves and modify it with the node tool. Maybe do the same with the eyes, convert them to curves. Modify them by bringing the bottom node upwards. You can make the design a lot more complex, but this will do for now. I make sure that scale with object is on for the strokes before scaling him down a little bit. I create a duplicate before I start with the Boolean operations. In order for the lines to work with the Boolean operation, they need to be expanded. Click on Expand Stroke, turning the lines into filled shapes. To create a compound group, select all white elements, hold the Alt key and click on the Boolean add. Inside the group are all the elements, but it's being treated as a single curve. I repeat the process with the red decoration elements, combine them into a compound, combine both compounds, holding the Alt key and pressing Subtract. The decoration elements are now cut from the main shape. It's easy to add new elements to the compound group by simply dragging an item into the group. You can duplicate elements inside the group or delete elements from the group. When exporting to other vector formats, this compound group will be considered a single curve. You can convert it to curve. The shapes will be merged according to their Boolean operations. I converted a duplicate of the snowman, added a wood texture, placed it inside the curve as a child object in a clipping mask. You can do that by dragging into the layer or cutting and using the paste inside. To darken the color of the wood texture, place a color shape on top inside the clipping group, set it to multiply and lower the opacity. To give it depth similar to the Christmas tree earlier in this video, I add an inner bevel, adjust the radius, the softness and the color of the highlight, and combine it with an outer shadow. Let's create another shape. I start with a rounded rectangle, turn the corners to 50% to make it a pill shape, add a stroke and adjust the width. Even when the slider is maxed out, you can increase the value by manually entering a higher number. The rounded rectangle is a shape. I want to convert it to a curve to be able to edit the nodes. Using the node tool, I create an additional node by clicking on the line and then deleting the segment below by holding Ctrl while clicking on the line. Delete the next 2 nodes to create a simple cane. As this will be the outline, I increase the stroke width a little bit more before converting the strokes into filled curves by using the expand stroke. Duplicate the curve and use the contour tool to create a thinner version. Create the pattern by drawing a single line with the pen tool, reduce the stroke width and duplicate that line. If the positioning feels awkward, make sure you have the snapping turned off. Select all lines, use the expand stroke to convert them to filled curves. Combine those into a compound group by holding Alt and clicking on Add. The individual shapes are still fully editable. Curve and adjust them using the Node tool. Let's combine these three shapes that make the candy cane: the outer, the inner shape, and the pattern. Select the inner and the outer shape, hold the Alt key and click on Subtract. To make the pattern work, I can't just drag it inside the compound. It needs to intersect with the inner curve. Duplicate the thinner cane shape and intersect with the pattern. Place the resulting compound inside the existing compound of the cane and set it to Add in the layer panel. In order to avoid hairlines and make sure that the pattern shape overlaps, I add a small contour. By converting the compound to curves, I create a single vector shape. I copy the two child objects from the snowman and paste them inside the candy cane. I forgot to add the donut as a hanger. I create a circle, turn it into a donut, scale and place the donut. It's easy to add to the compound group. I can just create a duplicate, drag it into the compound group, and it becomes part of that shape. With the already converted curve, use the Boolean add, not holding the Alt key, and extend the content of the clipping mask to cover that area. Copy the effects from the snowman, select the cane, and just paste the effects. Creating your designs using simple shapes is a lot easier than trying to hand draw it with the pencil or the pen tool. I added 10 Christmas compounds to my Gumroad page. As always, you can grab them for free. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did, please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, leave a like, and I will see you again soon.